Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button and check the description box as well as comments for today's topics. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. I was just telling you offline, fucking exhausted. I think Coachella 2022 kicked my ass badly. I think I'm officially done with Coachella for the rest of my life because I can't just be like, I survived the week after, but apparently this shit is like comes in waves, bro. Like I'm fucking spent, but excited definitely to catch up some topics, talk to you about a couple other things. But how are you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, man. I mean, as I mentioned, I came back from a work happy hour. Been in the office for a few weeks now, but this was like the first time we had an event, quote unquote, because of Cinco de Mayo, I guess. So we had a Taco Tuesday kind of thing. It was chill.
At the workspace, you guys went?
Yeah, at the workspace. They had like a little taco truck come by. It was good. I mean, I can never complain about free food and drinks.
Yeah, I feel that.
But like I was mentioning to you, it's a different, I guess, muscle that I have to flex, this social muscle of talking to people, kind of sticking around so that you don't feel like, you know, the new antisocial guy who doesn't like talking to people and shit. So that was a little exhausting, but overall, I like the option of being in the office. I just don't like the feeling of I have to be here on XYZ day, because everyone knows you're not in the mood every single day to go into work. Like you might have a lot of shit to take care of at home, blah, blah, blah. And I think we're obviously all adults. So
yeah,
a perfect future for me is just complete work from home flexibility, going when you want, but it is what it is. Being new to San Francisco, it's still dope that I get to walk to work and like, you know, eventually I'll have like some happy hour spots that I could kick it with. Cause my wife, her office isn't too far from mine. So I think we're going to get in the habit of like rendezvousing at, you know, restaurants and stuff.
Oh, that's kind of dope though.
Yeah.
That's kind of dope. Yeah.
Make it more.
I didn't realize you were walking distance.
Yeah. Walking distance. We actually took the bus together today, which made my commute only like 15 minutes.
Nice, dude.
So yeah, it's super simple versus other people. For people who don't know, the Bay is super spread out, mainly because it's so fucking expensive to be in the city and hectic. So for a lot of people, it can take an hour, 2 hours to get in. People are driving to like the BART and then taking the BART to the ferry, then hopping on the ferry and coming to work. I'm like, bro, this shit is it's almost like you're trying to colonize another country or some shit. Like you're just...
Yeah, dude. So like, that's what like my boy Billy, who you know, like he's dealing with. So like he lives so far away that he like agreed to only go in like once a month, because otherwise his overall travel would have been like an hour and 20 minutes each way. It's like, bro, this is
right.
I'm gonna quit. Like, there's no way I'm coming in twice a month or twice a week for this shit.
Yeah. And a lot of people are trying to negotiate that. I don't think anything on paper will allow it. But basically, the head of the office was like, I'm not taking attendance. Like, you could take that as whatever you want. Like, but at the same time, I'm not going to say that you guys can work from home all the time. But I think he's basically saying, if you don't come in on Monday, like I'm not gonna find out. I don't give a shit. Just get your work done. Like that's the kind of motto.
Yeah, and I think if most people like believe that, like you said, we're adults, so you would think that happens. But I feel like there has to be something too, because like personally, I just had a couple like in-person events for my job, and like bro, like those things really are important to at least build culture. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard to like build and maintain a culture, especially like for you, like a massive fucking company, if like you don't really ever know your coworkers, bro. Like at some point, like you're not gonna want to go the extra mile because like this company was created 50 years ago and like the inventor is famous. Like at some point that doesn't matter to you. You know what I mean? Like you're really working for the person next to you, but it's hard to feel that connection if like you don't go in. So like I see like both sides of it. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a conundrum that like a lot of companies are going to face for years to come, because yeah, bro, like dude, people aren't going to work. Like people don't want to work, bro. Like that's a fact. Yeah, like I drove by on the way home at Wendy's and like they're like hiring and it's like work today and we'll pay you tomorrow. And it's just like they're trying to figure out anything for people to work. And it's just like, it's sad, bro. Like again, I know like good for people if they're being entrepreneurs, but I think people just got so used to those checks and unemployment that they're like, fuck it, bro. Let me just like save whatever I can and just stay home forever. It's just like, yes, bro. But then I feel like there has to be some correlation to like all the robberies and gun violence we're seeing all over America. Like people are just like don't have money but don't want to go to work, so they're resulting in crime. I think like It's just like a weird time in American culture, bro.
For sure. And it's interesting that you bring up culture, because I feel like that was never a talking point from the people at the top. It came across as a productivity thing, but if anything, I feel like everyone has said they've been less productive, because being in the office, half the time it's people chit-chatting about shit that has nothing to do with work. There was one day where I was literally sitting at my desk because I had nothing to say to anyone around me because we didn't have meetings or anything. So and I'm sure that varies from job to job. Some jobs, like you literally have to interact with people, whereas mine, I'm not. It's all virtual. But I think a nice blend would be if they kind of give us a reason to come in. Like I came in today happily because we had this happy hour thing. And then there's going to be some other like workshops and stuff where it feels like there's a purpose. Whereas we don't have to go on Fridays, but let's say it was like a Friday where there's absolutely nothing to do. I think in those cases, it's kind of stupid to demand that people physically be somewhere, but for no other reason than, hey, like we're in the office and doing what we're supposed to do and collaborate, even if that's not taking place.
Yeah, dude, it's tough. I remember saying for me like that, like you hit on the head, like those first couple interactions in the office, like it's like an hour of just talking nonsense. Mm-hmm. But because you've never met these people or you haven't seen your coworkers in literally 2 years, you're like, yo, how's your daughter? How's your son doing? How's the wife? And it's just like, bro, like 3 hours have gone by. Like I could be at home. Like, what are we doing? Like,
exactly.
But yeah, it's hard, bro. It's hard. But again, I get why. Again, I wish it wasn't that way. Like I wish I could stay my ass at home and fucking roll up in my boxers and just be good to go. But I get why they want to do it, bro, because I feel like that's a slippery slope of like, you never feel like the person you're talking to on Teams or Zoom matters. You know what I mean? Like it's people feel like fucking like, it's almost like Twitter trolls, right? Like people feel very fucking, strong behind a keyboard, as far as their comments, but like in person, you kind of like, all right, let me approach this person a better way because, it's actually a human being. So I get why the in-person shit matters to a certain extent.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, and this might be specific to like the tech industry, but I feel like that's also where they kind of get you with the, hey, we have free food and this and that. And then you feel like it's their favorite phrase, a family. So then when you want to leave, it's a lot harder. Whereas if you're work from home completely, they're almost like this faceless just means of a paycheck. So it's a lot easier to be like, all right, well, there's something better over here. Whereas anytime I left a company, like it was just because I was going to miss the people and the perks and stuff that like the office offered. It was never anything else like, oh, I'm going to miss the challenging work or some other bullshit.
Dude, but it's wild though, because like I feel like there's no way like someone's not leaving their job because like, oh man, those Taco Tuesdays be slapping. I can't leave this.
I don't know. Some of the Googlers, they're like, yo, I'm desperate to leave, but shit, like free food and laundry and whatever else is just like so hard for them to give up.
That's wild, bro. Because that's wild. But again, maybe to each their own. Maybe that's the only work environment they know, so they probably don't think the grass is greener anywhere else. But all good, dude. But how about you, bro? Like, I think we're like 5 days removed from you dropping your 6th single overall, Ruckus?
9th. I believe it's the 9th one. Yep. Nice.
So like, obviously, I love that I already gave you some feedback offline. But how's the feedback has been just from peers, randos, and I know you also reached out to a couple like different platforms to kind of promote it, right?
Yeah. I would say this one was definitely towards the top in terms of feedback. Probably right up there with Ignore Me, and even Highs and Lows when I first started again. Everyone just loved the beat and the collaboration as well. They really like what Rockie Fresh did, so shout out to him. And for me, I mean, when I finished it, it was definitely one of my favorites. I think as soon as I heard the beat, I knew it would be that. I mean, the beat itself is usually where the starting point of like whether or not I'm really going to enjoy the song, just because that's kind of how I operate in terms of other people's music I like. and the collaboration, like his verse was just as I imagined. I was kind of nervous because it was the first like real one I've done in a long ass time, and you never like if someone you're collaborating with them, you're asking them to work with you, and if they put out something you're not happy with, I've never been in that position to be like, yo, like, can you redo this? And I'm not even like Kanye or some shit where I have the authority to be like, yo, try harder next time or some shit.
Yeah.
But it definitely was not the case. Obviously, he's an established artist. And yeah, it was everything I expected. With every release, I submit my shit to like a handful of blogs and like YouTube channels that post music. And the acceptance rate is like super low. Like I've pretty much gotten denied for every single release except for Highs and Lows, which is funny because that was the first song I released.
Hey, you were like, this is about to be the easiest comeback in the world.
Yeah, right? I'm like, shit, I could just do this. I'm going to have every song fucking accepted. But it obviously wasn't the case. Music's super subjective. Like, it is what it is. But fortunately, this one got some love here and there. So far, so good. I mean, I haven't hit like 1 million streams. Haven't even come close to that at all. But that wasn't really the goal. The goal was to just put out good music, hopefully get it recognized, and get a few new fans here and there. So can only be happy with that.
For sure. So just so the listeners and myself know the process. So you sent him the beat with your hook already on it?
Yeah, so I sent him the beat with my hook as well as the verse on it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And basically just his part like empty, and was like, hey, do your vocals. Then he sent me the raw vocals back. Then I sent it to a guy to have it mixed and mastered so that it all sounded cohesive basically. And then I had him do little edits here and there, put the finishing touches on it, and then basically like set a release date. Like the guy I collaborated with, Rockie Fresh, was pretty hands off. Like he didn't say like, oh, release it this date or the art should be this. Like it was just purely like a business move.
Sure.
But it came across perfectly, like super cohesive. He stuck to I told him the theme, he stuck to it. Like it didn't sound like a random ass verse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I asked, bro, because that was probably like the best part to me. Because obviously I know you guys didn't like link up in the studio together, but like you can tell, like again, from anything, dude. Like I know for a fact, like when we were really into Wiz, like back in the day, like I know for a fact, like he would send out like a bunch of like verses to people that he was already on. And then you would hear like 5 different people on that song. And like only one of those became like the official release because like if he's shopping it around. But like each of those was like its own unique song. And it's like, bro, but that has nothing to do with like what Wiz is talking about. So like it was nice on this collab for you that like it felt very cohesive. Like it could have been you two in the studio together because like, yeah, we're talking about like the same concept and like this moving in the right direction. Like it wasn't just him like, he could have had a fire verse, but it's like, yeah, that's fire, but it doesn't really go with what we're trying to, achieve here.
Yeah, and that's what I definitely appreciated that the most was he clearly, and he did it quick as fuck. Like he asked me, he's like, yo, like when you able to get me the track? Cause I had asked him like just before Christmas. I was like, sorry, man, Christmas. And then I had fucking COVID and like, I kind of felt bad cause it was lagging. And like, I'm sure he has set dates like when he's in the studio. So he's trying to bang out all his shit at once. Like he's not trying to go to the studio every time someone wants a feature. And then as soon as I sent it to him, I don't even know the time frame, but that shit was like in a day. And like, he just banged it out. Sounded like he could have worked on it for weeks, even though that wasn't the case. And it stuck to the theme. I was kind of worried it was just going to be like, just kind of like a cipher, just anything that rhymes and
like,
sounds
you hear
cool.
Like the laissez-faire in their voice, like here's your verse, where's my check? Like,
right, exactly. But I couldn't have asked for a better collab. As soon as I heard the beat, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to work with someone else on this. Just add some different flavor, and he came to mind.
Nice.
And sure enough, it worked out. So yeah, I'm really happy with the result.
Nice, dude. Yeah, dude. Really like it. Really like the visuals. The artwork is fire too. But yeah, dude, the hook is what, dude, I thought it was like, this probably, I think for me, like your best hook, which I think is, again, like I think every song has this like, you need the bars, but like the hook is what keeps people engaged. And I think the hook on this one was like I think it felt very much so like professional, like some shit you would hear on the radio.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And that was the first thing I wrote. And it's usually the first thing I write just because I think I already texted you this, but the hook is what with music in general draws me in and kind of the most important piece for me, especially because it repeats.
Right.
And yeah, I was just at my dad's place, came across the beat and that hook kind of came to mind. And then I was like,
nice.
All right, I have to do something with this one.
Nice, dude. Yeah, so everyone go check out Ruckus, literally everywhere. So yeah, go peep and get those numbers up for our boy. And do you already have like the next song lined up, or are you right now like just shopping beats?
Yeah, this is the first time where I don't really have anything lined up. I have a couple beats in mind, but it's one of those things where I'm not going to force it unless
you kind of want to be inspired.
Yeah, because with pretty much all my other releases, it was like I heard the beat and then it was pretty much done with it in like one day, or maybe I wrote most of it in one sitting and then, did the finishing touches later. But if I have to listen to a beat like over and over and over and it just doesn't work, then it's a waste of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, dude, I feel that. I mean, obviously it's been working because I feel like all the songs you put out are true to like what you're trying to achieve. So yeah, dude, excited for whenever we get to the next one. But like you said, there's nine tracks out already for us to enjoy. So yeah, everyone go check out Ruckus. Let's get into the episode. But before we do that, just a reminder, this episode is brought to you by our friends at False Evidence Appearing Real, Fear. They take over 20 years of experience with treating fear and anxiety and put into an affordable and easily digestible electronic learning course. Their unique approach is designed to fast track you to overcome your fears while saving you thousands of dollars and hours with a psychologist. Check out the link below to get started, and be sure to use the promo code audio-theory. That's audio-theory at checkout to get an exclusive discount. Shout out to our good people at Fear. They're getting a little bit more viral with the marketing. So yeah, definitely go peep them out.
Shout out Fear.
Shout out Fear, bro. All right, man. Where do you want to start this week?
How about we start with DaBaby, because I've been seeing a lot of that back and forth.
Bro, like, yo, what's sad, man, and what scares me, bro, it's like this is again, I don't want to, I'm telling you, I don't want to put this out in the universe, but like, I can't be the only one thinking this. I'm sure you thought as well. Like, this reminds me a lot of like the month leading up to like XXX passing
man,
away.
I was literally just gonna say that.
Right, bro? Like, it's just too much. Like,
right,
bro,
yeah, it's like the universe is basically like, hey, everyone, like the algorithms like for his existence is going crazy and it's just gonna end up in chaos.
Yo, that's how I feel, dude. Like, man, like it's just something. Like, that's how I feel, bro. Like it's just scary. I pray for him. I fear for him, because I know his record is fucking 25-0 right now. But fam, you can't keep winning these situations.
Yeah, like
someone's gonna catch you lacking. Like something's gonna go south. Like fam, right. Like it's just I fear for him, bro, because this I've seen this movie before, and it usually doesn't end well for the person who's constantly in the middle of it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the tough thing too, is because I mean, you have to admit that it aligns with his whole persona and image, and it helps his brand because he does look like one of the legit and few authentic people in the game.
Yeah, dude.
Who does this shit and lives this shit and walks away unscathed. But like you mentioned, all it takes is that one time to slip up and someone happens to have a gun or just catches him lacking for whatever reason. And just like a Nipsey, you might have all kinds of love and street cred, but all it takes is one jealous motherfucker to do something and boom, you're gone.
Dude, but not even jealous. Some nigga you fucking just beat up for no reason like a week ago. Like, it's
right. Or some spiteful dude. And you might think to yourself, I could whoop his ass. Like he's not going to come back and retaliate. But as we've seen, this shit keeps happening. But the unfortunate thing too is there's a couple instances where like, the trespasser, obviously he didn't ask for that. Right. And it sounds like this white dude was antagonizing them with being racist. Then again, I think it didn't help that they kind of broke the rules and kind of went the route of filming a music video without disclosing information. I think that's unexcusable. Even if the guy's a racist piece of shit, like, you still have to follow the rules. And I feel like a lot of these celebrities kind of feel like, well, you know, well, I'll just pay for it. Or like, you know who I am? Like, you should be happy I'm fucking filming here and giving your house clout or whatever the case is. But yeah, he needs to really reevaluate his situation and just lay low and keep calm, because it's definitely not looking good, like you said.
Yeah, dude, it's getting scary, bro. And that's my thing. Like you said, lay low and just like, do, like you said, reassess, bro. Like, yo, like at some point, like you have to be able to look in the mirror and be like, yo, I'm the common denominator here. Like, what the fuck am I doing that constantly attracts this shit? Because, bro, it's, and yo, the shit we see in the news is consistent like every week. I guarantee there's shit that they're not even reporting that is still happening on a daily basis, bro. Like, so yeah, I feel like this dude has to look in the mirror and be like, bro, like, do I change my circle so like I can get better people around me to block out this fucking noise? Because, fam, like, it's exhausting for us. And imagine him who's like literally dealing with it and fucking fighting for his life like every week, it seems. And on top of that, has 2 fucking kids and a whole family depending on him. Like, bro, like, this shit just seems like, it's gonna end badly. I pray to God it doesn't, because I mean, DaBaby is at the end of the day a human being who fucking deserves all of our fucking prayers and positive energy. But holy shit, bro, like, it literally feels like I'm just gonna hop on Academics' page and be like, all right, what did he do today?
Right. And the thing is, too, let's just say from his perspective, you know, everyone, like a Tekashi would say, everyone else is starting it. Well, have the proper like security or what entourage in place to handle these situations where you're not even remotely close to having to deal with it. Because like, it seems like every situation he's like right there in the center and the one to like solve these encounters. And like you said, I just really don't think it'll end well. Like, this can't happen 100 more times and nothing bad happens.
Like the math, bro, is just not in your favor. Like, you're already no one is ever going to be undefeated when it comes to constant shit like that. Like, bro, it's Michael Jordan lost a couple fucking games. You know what I mean, bro? Like, you're going to lose something.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of tough in this industry just because it rewards you, like going to jail and coming out and fighting people and shit. Unfortunately, all that negativity can boost sales, and when you get monetary gain from it, it's hard to be like, nah, I shouldn't really fuck with that. But
especially like the wild thing is like, bro, like all this shit over the last 4 months, like even him whooping his brother-in-law's ass has actually helped him in the sense that no one's talking about like canceled shit that he said about like the LGBT and like HIV. Like, that shit's pretty much done. Like, it's no one's talking about, like, people ready to cancel his ass for that. And now, like, he's the fucking talk of the town because, like, yo, DaBaby fucked somebody else up. DaBaby shot someone but didn't kill him. It's like, all right, bro, that's cool. But, like, does he have music coming out? Like, what are we talking about?
Right. I mean, they're definitely assassinating his character. It kind of makes me question the character of all of these guys in general. I'm not saying he's a bad person or a good person, but at the same time, it's interesting that there's it seems like there's a back and forth of like whether or not he's a good person behind all this and like whether we should support him or not. But the funny thing is, a lot of these other street rappers are probably doing the same shit, think the same way, but it just so happens all the shit he does is documented on camera.
Yeah, all the cameras are on him right now. Yeah, I mean, have been on him since he pretty much popped up on the scene like 3-4 years ago. But yeah, bro, shout out to him. You know, praying for him. Because again, bro, like I don't think I don't think any reasonable person can think this is going to continue and it's going to end well. Like, it just, I don't think the math, justifies that. But
agreed.
We'll see. All right, bro. Let's stay obviously in music, big music. I mean, like, we had a couple big music weeks. I feel we have another like 3 or 4 leading up to this. Do you want to go into Future or Pusha T going number 1?
Let's go into Future.
All right, bro. So Future, Reaction, I Never Liked You. Phenomenal album. He dropped the deluxe version yesterday, which was fucking wild. Just gave us 5 more songs. I was like, all right, bro, I'm fucking gonna just get this on Friday. But yeah, your thoughts on the album?
So I actually never had a chance to listen to the deluxe, but the standard album, I'd say on first listen, it was definitely enjoyable. Standard Future, similar to Pusha T, he didn't do anything like out of bounds that I didn't really expect, other than maybe the Thames. Is it Tem or Thames? I forget. Thames track with Drake. I mean, that was like a different vibe, but outside of it, I think it was really good. I can't say for myself it's the most replayable version of Future. I don't know if I'll be revisiting the album very much. There's only a handful of tracks that stood out to me, but overall, I think it was a fun listen. But the features that I was looking forward to, for the most part, were underwhelming for me, like the Gunna Young Thug track, even the Drake track. I think it was called I'm On One or something. Those tracks just didn't do it for me the way I had expected. But I mean, he stuck to his formula. He did his thing. But I'm looking forward to, hopefully his next album will blow me away, because these past couple didn't.
Interesting, bro. So like, because again, I know you're in the comments more than me online. Is the feedback online similar to yours?
Yeah, I've heard, I think the general consensus, and I say that kind of loosely, is that it was mid by his standards.
Interesting, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, I gotta look at these comments, bro.
And a lot of people are making fun of the lyrics from that For a Nut song with Young Thug.
Okay.
There's just a lot of like lyrics that like made no sense. I think he said like, I fuck her in the ass and make her pee pee or something. Just a lot of random shit that like.
Yeah, but funny, I feel like he's been doing that though. Like.
Yeah, he has. But it's just funny how like lyrics like that will overshadow like this body of work. Like, yeah. And it makes me consider, I'm like, damn, am I that fucked up where like I'm literally spending time talking about a body of work that says this? Like, I'm like, I'm taking this shit that seriously.
Hey, this is my life.
But yeah, like, is this what the world has come to? But yeah, I think the general consensus is that it was made by Future standards.
Interesting, dude. Because like for me, I think this is the first Future album in a while that I actually like went through it, first track to last track. I actually keep the deluxe. So the funny thing about the deluxe, like the extra songs are actually like, I would say throwaway songs, if I'm being completely honest. Like that's how I feel about the extra deluxe version. But there is one song, I think it's called, fuck man, I don't want to butcher this, so let me just pull it up real quick. I think it's called Worst Feeling. Worst Day. And he's talking about Valentine's Day because he has so many women. And he's that's the worst day. Yo, I'm like, so what I really enjoyed about this album more than the other ones is that I think he properly leaned in to that toxic male energy that he's always portraying, right? Like the memes and, you know, like, so this is why I enjoyed it, bro. Because I feel like you get that on every song, more so than the other ones where he's just like rapping and just, you know, just rapping the rap. So that's, I don't know, I thoroughly enjoyed it, bro. There was, even before we get to like the Drake and Thames song, there were a couple that were replayable for me. Like, yo, I'm That Nigga is a song that I feel like you're out with your boys pre-gaming, drinking, and like, yo, replay that shit. Cause like that just gets you like in a proper mood. So I don't know, bro, I actually enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, dude, again, I know people can say like, oh yeah, you're a Drake head, but like even Love You Better is a really good song. Massaging Me is a good one. Yeah, bro, I don't know, there's a few here that I really do fuck with, bro. So like, I actually enjoyed it. Like I would say it's above mid. Like I would give it like a B plus, to be honest. But then again, bro, like the Wait For You track, which is like, to your point, very different from anything he's ever released. Fam, that could be nominated for like track of the year. Like I know Thames only has like 3 or 4 songs that have actually gone viral, but fuck, bro. For her short ass career, these songs are insane. Like, bro, Wait For You, if I never listened to one more track this year on my Apple Music, would be the #1 played song on my phone. Cause like that shit is like the moment that Drake fucking like verse is over, bring it back. Like, bro, that shit is wow. That song is everything, bro. So Like, yeah, the fact that yeah, so I don't know, that track alone makes his album like a better album than he's put out in a while. But I would say overall, there's other replayable tracks that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, for me, I think some of the standout ones were, what was that one? Puffin on Zooties or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I love the Thames one. I think the ESTG one really stood out to me. Chickens. The Kanye one stood out to me as well.
Oh yeah, the Kanye one, Keep It Burning. Hell yeah.
Yeah, super fire. I think for me it was probably like a B-. I don't know if it's me just being burnt out on trap music, but a lot of it was so expected. I felt
would
like
agree with that, bro. So I actually had this one thought, is that this could be the second, third, or fourth like version of a past album. Yeah. Like if you call this Dirty Sprite 6, I believe you. Because like, yeah, it sounds the same, but which is why I think the Thames and Drake one was so refreshing, because it was so fucking different. Right. Yeah, like it's different, but like even on its own, it's a fucking amazing song. But I had that thought as well, my bro. This could be Dirty Sprite 15. And like, I believe you, because it kind of just has the same beat. Like, I just feel like I really enjoyed it, because like I've never heard him lean in so aggressively with the toxic shit. Because again, I feel like sometimes, like at least as men, like I feel like in this culture, it's so PC oriented, and like we have to be protective of women, which we should be. But like it's such cancel if you ever say anything like toxic, like, oh, your ego's like, it's like, bro, like sometimes you need that shit to remember who the fuck you are. And I really enjoyed that he did that a lot on this album.
Right. Yeah. And it's a tough criticism whenever I'm like, well, this is nothing new, because I know generally speaking, we like it when artists do what they're good at very well and continue to do that. But sometimes it can be as simple as the production is kind of bland, but they're still rapping just as good. Like, for instance, if we're going back to that collaboration album with Drake, I forget the names.
What a Time to Be Alive.
Yeah, that's the one from like 6 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah. Right. Like if he had done that kind of shit on this one, I think it would have blown my mind, even though technically the content and everything's not that different. I think
because I would argue aggressively that the content's better now.
Right. But for me, I think a lot of the production, not on every song, obviously, like the Kanye one was phenomenal, but for some of the songs that I forgot because they were unforgettable to me, I was like, this beat is like, sounds kind of like a throwaway trap beat that he would have rapped on some random mixtape or something.
Yeah, kind of like how I felt about like 504. Like every drill beat sounds exactly the same.
Right.
I feel
so. Yeah.
Yeah, but question though, because like I was thinking about this because I read an article, like a couple things when he was talking about in GQ that he I think GQ literally like the headline is like Future like greatest rapper alive. Like, do you ever think of him as a rapper?
No, he's kind of like a Travis to me. I don't. If I don't see them spitting Dogg, some right? Like cipher, yeah, it's like a Nate Dogg. You kind of like, what's the term they use a lot? Croon. They're kind of just more of a melodic artist to me. I just look at them as like just artists. Like they don't fit like into one box.
Music creator. I never think of him like because I've never thought of him as a rapper. Like obviously he goes with like, if we have to generalize someone, yes, he goes into a rap category. Right. But like I never thought of him rapping. Like it's
to me, I'm like, if Sway or Funk Flex don't ask them to freestyle, then they're probably not a rapper. Like if you can't imagine them doing that kind of shit, then I feel like you don't really categorize him as a rapper. Like Post Malone would never be on fucking Funk Flex.
Right. That's a great point. That's the funny thing, bro. Like it's almost scandalous sometimes. Like when these like major GQ is a major corporation. Like for them to even use that title, it's like, bro, you know what you're doing. Like you want to get people like, you know, festered up because like, bro, no one in their right mind has ever thought of Future as a fucking greatest rapper alive or a rapper, period.
No. He's like, if anything, he's more of a, I don't know, brand or icon or entertainer.
Icon.
Like, something like that. Dude,
but I'm glad you said that, bro, because think about it. What a Time to Be Alive we've never gotten two rappers I mean, I don't want to take it back because like Jay-Z and Kanye were at their peak as well. But like, it's pretty wild we even got that mixtape in the first place. But dude, doesn't it feel like we saw Drake come up, right? With Lil Wayne, and then eventually got his own stardom. Same thing with Kanye. Jay-Z took a time and officially, dude, I feel like Future from day one, because he was the only one like rapping, singing the way he does, was like an icon from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like, is that crazy? Like, is that like I lived like I go back to do like 2013 and like Pluto and whatever the fuck is free bands, like all that shit. Like, bro, like yeah. I like from day one he's been like at some like high ass level. And it's like, bro, like, did he even earn this? Like,
right. I remember him being on that Bugatti song, and I was like, who the hell is this? And then people were saying he was like, I think T-Pain or somebody said that he was the first person that was like using auto-tune incorrectly, but for some reason, like it works for him. And ever since then, like everybody from Atlanta has been doing that kind of like melodic offbeat auto-tune. Not offbeat, but out of pitch, kind of auto-tune, rappy, singy sound.
Yeah, and then I remember like articles on blogs like, oh, he's just biting 2 Chainz, like he's the auto-tune version of 2. Mm-hmm. Yo, 2 Chainz will give all his chains to be Future, bro. Because like the gap in careers is wild, bro. Yeah. Like Future is literally an icon living. And I love 2 Chainz, but dude, 2 Chainz is not even close to the status and like impact that fucking Future has. And again, I just feel like for whatever reason, it's been like that since day one. And I've never like it in like the history of anything. Like, when has anyone ever just come out and like been the best at their thing? Like, usually like it takes time, they struggle, they have a flop, whatever. Like they're Robin is someone's Batman. And he's just been Batman since day one. And like that part is also pretty insane when you just look at his entire career thus far.
Yeah. I mean, I think 2 Chainz is still pretty up there, but I feel like, to your point, I do notice a trend of a lot of the younger guys saying Future's their inspiration, like Roddy Ricch, Juice WRLD, like, and even people who don't even rap like Future or sing like him, whatever phrase you want to use. A lot of these guys are like, Future's my inspiration, which is crazy to think, because I don't think he's ever like in that top 5 GOAT conversation or anything, but yet again, all these up and coming rappers look up to him.
Yeah, and it has to be a mixture of things, but I just think the fact that he's just been the guy for almost like 10 years now, like, holy shit. Yeah. And again, for whatever reason, GQ said he's the greatest rapper alive right now. Again, I don't agree with that, but there's something to it where like, I think he's the greatest in something, you know what I mean? Like, cause fuck, dude, like the respect levels he has, like, regardless if people thought the album was mid or great, like everyone still stopped to listen to that shit. Like, right. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like, oh, he dropped it like, and I love Gucci Mane, but like with Gucci, like, yo, he drops an album, we're like, all right, cool, bro. Like, let me know there's a hit and I'll check out the hit. But like, I'm not gonna listen to the whole shit. Whereas right. I feel like everyone stopped on Friday. I was like, yo, I gotta hear what Future dropped. So kudos to him still doing that like 13 fucking years in.
Yeah, no, it's super impressive. Even if people want to consider it mumble rap or just bad music, he has stuck around for a long ass time.
Yeah, and I feel like it's been less mumbly over the years.
Oh, for sure. He definitely perfected his style since then.
Whatever he was doing wrong, according to T-Pain with the auto-tune, like it's definitely clearer now. Like yeah, those lyrics hit. So yeah, shout out to him. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed the album, but let us know in the comments. And the deluxe version is out right now. All right, so Pusha T going number 1. I don't think any big surprise here, bro. Like we both said, a great album. I know for a fact, at least in the comments, phenomenal feedback on this one for sure. And I think the way they lined it up for at least the first, Pusha coming out and now Future, I think we all knew, hey, Pusha's gonna go number 1. And then we'll see what happens, afterwards, right? So, did you have a similar take on that?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I wasn't surprised. I thought the album was phenomenal. I can't say, I don't know if it was his best just because I can't recall every single body of work that he's put out. I would have to listen to Daytona again, but this one blew me away when I first heard it. I did hear though that apparently Drake stans are clowning him for having less sales first week versus Daytona, basically implying that the beef with Drake was the reason why Daytona was as high as it was versus this one.
I mean, that's possible. That's a solid take though. Like,
yeah, it's possible. But at the same time, I don't think personally, I don't really read into the numbers myself to gauge whether or not something's hot. Like, even if he sold fucking 15 copies, like, this shit was still a work of art.
100%. Yeah, dude, I'm just happy. Like, I think it's just hip hop or music needs characters, artists like Pusha T, because it just shows that, bro, like kind of like Nas, like, as long as you're good at your craft, you're gonna be rewarded. Right. And I think that's what everyone just, like, if you're in the industry, right? Fuck what fans think. Like, if you're in the industry and you're like, bro, like, I'm 36 or I'm 45, like, should I just fucking hang it up? And it's like, no, dude, because it's proven if you keep trying to do your best, it's going to get rewarded by people who actually know what music is. So I feel like it's important to have figures like Pusha T and like Nas in hip hop right now, because at least it's getting rewarded, as opposed to, like, I feel like back in the day we were getting classic albums from certain people, but it was like, whatever, bro. Like, you're not Jay-Z, so we don't give a fuck. And it's like, nah, bro. Like, I feel like now there's such, I mean, no offense to anyone, there's such bullshit being dropped every single Friday. Like, bro, like, I know that page that you roll on, like, drop, like, that UK page that has, like,
what is dropping or whatever.
Bro, I'm like, yo, this is, how the fuck am I gonna listen to this? So, like, it's nice that it's clear that certain things do rise to the top if the quality is there. So I think that's the cool thing right now about the Pusha T album. I think it's just like, it's clear that this is probably one of the best buys of work out this year for sure. And it's getting the love it deserves, as opposed to just being like another release that no one really gives a fuck about.
Yeah. And it's insane that he's been hot for like 20 years or whatever.
Dude,
and
20 years.
Never sounded outdated.
When I was like, I think I was like 11 or 10 years old when like Grinding came out.
Yeah, Grinding, and then like what happened to that boy and all that stuff.
Like, we were kids.
Yeah. And when I think he mentioned in an interview, or somebody did, about how he's lasted this long, I'm like, kudos to him. He never at any point did I feel like he kind of like lost his respect or footing in the game. Like, he was always just doing whatever he wanted, and is clearly, I mean, at an even higher peak, because he's on President of Good Music or whatever. Yeah. Like, with the great fucking got a W against what a lot of people think is the best ever to do it, Drake. Even if you disagree with that, the listeners, he's accomplished a shit ton since day one.
Yeah. So I just think, I mean, again, there's a good chance that he won't be number one next week because of Future. For sure. Which is fine. But just to say that, 22 years in, he has a number one album, bro, like, you at least you can't take that away from him, you know, which that's the thing I like the most about this whole moment.
Right. And the thing is, I mean, all these other guys have hits that like take them to the charts, whereas
that one song, right.
Whereas Pusha T did it more organically. He just
100%
put out a body of work he wanted that was good and people fucked with it. He didn't have some gimmick or some streaming.
Like go back to like Cardi B, because like Bodak Yellow was already out for like 5 months. It was already like like gold. So the moment the album dropped, the album already went platinum. I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? You know what I mean? Like, right. And she had like a huge machine behind her. Like, she's the next Nicki or whatever you want to say. Right. Whereas with Pusha, it was just purely good music, no pun intended. Yeah, we heard one song and we were like, okay, but like, Diet Coke isn't the reason that album went number one. Like, I think everyone just like kept listening to the album over and over again. So shout out to him, shout out to his team, and It's Almost Dry is out, so definitely go peep. So fast forward to your boy Jack Harlow. This is Jack Harlow's week leading up. He just released the track list. We do have a Drake feature. We have a Pharrell Williams feature as well. So, fam, like, I don't remember anyone else for their sophomore album getting these, features and hype. Because I feel like maybe other artists may have, but like they were signed to like those teams, you know, like Drake had the features. He was signed to like the biggest label in the industry at the time. And like, but like, it's interesting, like, you know, like that he's getting this. So like, how do you feel it's going to sound? And like, do you think it's under more pressure after coming out right after Pusha and Future?
Right. I think for me, I'm thinking I'm going to enjoy this album more than his last one. I feel like the last one and just the hype, probably that pressure helped him create this body of work. Granted, he has extra help to do that as well. If I had to guess, I think he sold like 50 or something last round. With all this hype and everything, like he has to sell like at least low 100s, I'm thinking.
Yo, somehow they have projections on Billboard already.
Yeah,
they're saying like, they're projecting this like 130K.
Yeah, I'd say that's reasonable. I wouldn't be surprised. Anything less than 100, I think, is an L for him, given the amount of fucking times I see his name everywhere. It just has to happen. He's skilled too. Like, there's no reason why with the hype and skill you should be doing less than 100 right now. But I don't know. I think the pressure definitely is on. And if he doesn't live up
he can
to
go
it,
number one.
right.
But I feel like for him, for his career right now, it's not going number one. Because I feel like he's in that pocket where, like, again, this is like, I don't want to be racist, bro, but it's like, he has the white rapper thing, like, in the bag. So if you're a fan of, like, you just want to see a white rapper win, like, those fans are going to stream it. So he's going to go number one regardless. Like, I feel very confident about that. I think for him, it's the critical, like, critiques. Like, is he going to be able to, like can he survive a mid album?
Right.
Like, that's the question I think is really out there right now.
Numbers wise, I agree with you. I think he's going to reach all kinds of streaming records of sorts and shit like that. So numbers are definitely going to be in his favor. I think from a critical standpoint, just given the amount of hype, I think the hip hop gatekeepers are going to criticize him if this shit doesn't live up to expectations and provide anything of any value and substance. Because a lot of what we've gotten so far are like swaggy raps over great beats, but at the end of the day don't mean a whole lot, or at least aren't very different than what we've already gotten. I think a lot of it's like vibey shit that you could play at a frat party or at the club, but outside of that, it's like, are you gonna really be replaying shit and like thinking deeply about this? And the answer is probably no. But
it's like he had like another snippet, like a Dua Lipa song. Like, bro, like, stop this shit, bro. Like, we don't like just like let me hear it on the day of. Like, like, stop with this snippet shit, bro. Like,
I mean, I actually did like the snippet, but in my head, I'm like, if I hear this snippet fucking 8,000 times before the album comes out, I'm gonna hate that song.
Yeah, you know what's funny though is because like this was insight into what I think not the casual hip hop fan, but the hip hop fan who doesn't really know Jack Harlow like that just yet. I have a separate group chat with a few of my friends who we share music every Friday. Like, yo, go check this out, go check that out. And I'm like, yo, this is Jack Harlow's week. And they're like, oh, you mean Lil Nas X's boyfriend? I'll pass. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like,
oh, no,
I'm like, I think that's like the average like male hip hop fan is like, yo, like, I don't really take this dude seriously yet. You know what I mean?
No, they don't. And I think in a way, it's like this industry push almost hurts him because I feel like it makes people feel like he's getting shit handed to him on a fucking golden platter. And it's just like, here, take the awards, take this. And especially because he's white. So the privilege comes into the forefront of everyone's minds. So like, yo, imagine how many black dudes who rap like him, how much harder this shit would be. Because I don't know, I think a white person with swag, like especially black people even love to see it because it's like so rare for it to be effortless.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't come across as like a try-hard when he's charismatic.
Nah, it seems natural. Like, I don't think he's putting on.
Yeah.
Like, it seems natural.
And I think that's just makes the women especially drool because they're like, oh, he's not a wannabe. He's a white boy who's got it. He's tall. He raps well. And also there is an element of guys being kind of envious of that, but yeah, I think from the outside looking in, even as a longtime fan from him, I don't know if this is considered a long time. I've been a fan of him since.
Nah, dude, you were on it before most, if not, I would say you were on it before like 80%. And then we as a podcast were on it like maybe 60% before most people.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a fan since like 2018, I think.
People were like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, no. Yeah, I was way before What's Poppin'. Back in fucking 2018 or something. Yeah. Shout out to Miguel because he showed me the first song with him in Sci-Hi. And I actually didn't know if he was white or not. I was like, maybe he's just a Hispanic dude who passes as white.
Yeah.
Because he had like the long ass curly hair and shit. So I had no idea. But I think that was the appeal, is he had this swag that seemed effortless. But now, genuine too. But now it's gotten to a point where like, I feel like these teenage white girls are giving him like the Bieber effect, where like as a man, you're like, I don't want to like this shit. Like these little girls like this shit.
Dude.
So why would I like it?
And I still think that like, that super fan, and I still think the stuff with like Lil Nas X is like, there's still like that male ego is like, bro, I'm not gonna be a fan of a gay male rapper, and you were cool to rap with him, so you may be talented, bro, but I don't fuck with you either.
Yeah,
like, I think that's a real thing.
That's unfortunate because it's not like he fucking sucked his dick on camera or some shit. Like that was the least of my worries. If anything, I think he snapped on that verse. That was like one of my favorite verses he's done.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
But I do think for him, unlike with Pusha and Future, like, again, we're only comparing because they're all dropping back to back to back to back. I think for him, it's more about the critical reviews and like what they're like say about his lyrics and song and creativity. Because again, it's gonna do numbers. Like again, he's just in that pocket right now where it's not gonna fail, but it's like, is it gonna be accepted by, like you said, the gatekeepers? Like the people who really love this rap shit, are they gonna accept it? That's why I think the pressure is on him, because like you said, it just feels right now like whatever he wants, he's getting. Oh, you want to go to the Met Gala? You'll be there, bro. You want to do the VMAs, Grammys? Boom. Yo, #1 song in the country, done. Like, so it's like, oh, like kind of like to the extreme of like the DaBaby stuff. Like, dude, Jack, you can't not see Jack Harlow in the news every day about something, bro. So yeah, it's very intriguing to see how this the feedback will be on Friday.
Right. For sure. And before we move on, I did want to ask you, now that we're on this topic, just Jack Harlow versus Mac Miller and their general levels of respect in hip hop. What do you think the biggest reasons and differentiators are? Because as time went on, I think initially I was proud to be an early Jack Harlow fan, but I think over time, this whole TikTok culture and kind of teenage girl, it seems, fan base, or just girls in general, kind of makes you view the music in a different way. I'll still be a fan, but it does give you, I guess I feel a little less proud to be at the party and be like, yo, I'm a Jack Harlow fan. Now I feel like a dick rider for saying that shit. But from a Mac Miller standpoint, I feel like he never was that, like, I don't know, pretty boy Casanova type. And he kind of had the respect to like the real hip hop core fan base. So I'm curious, like, how you view their music differently, and like why you think their legacies might be different or similar.
Yeah, obviously, rest in peace to Mac. So I think for me, bro, it was clear from day one. So that's like the gift and the curse of having that hit record, right? I think the first introduction to the world of Jack was What's Popping. And bro, that's a massive record. So I think, guilty or not, he's gonna be held to that standard of like, if you want a pop banger, go to fuck, that's what's for Mac, bro, it was grimy, fun kid music, right? But the way he raps is like a rapper's rapper, bro.
Yeah, like
and
real
it's like,
lyricist.
wow, like why is this like 17-year-old kid like lyrical like this? And then as it progressed, like I don't remember any album, like go back to Kids or Best Day Ever, like those mixtapes as well. Like, bro, there's content there. like shit that like he's saying shit that matters, bro. You know what I mean? Whereas like to your point earlier, like everything thus far, because again, I don't want to put like a ceiling on this fucking kid when he's like 2 albums in, right? Like Jack.
Yeah.
But like everything thus far does feel like frat music party. Like that's just, put them all, let's have a good time. And like, that's fine, but there's really no substance there. Whereas like, bro, like I'm telling you, like when we were just vibing in Colombia, I listened to the entire Faces mixtape for Mac the entire trip. Because like, bro, song 1 didn't sound like song 2, but song 1 through 18 went together. And like, you're hearing this whole story being told. Like, besides having a good time and loving women, like I haven't heard a story from Jack Harlow yet.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the difference is, right? Like the storytelling isn't there yet. Whereas I think from day one, there were signs of it with Mac, and then he reached this area that in his life from like fucking 18 until he died, that it was just like phenomenal storytelling with no ego, dude, vulnerable as fuck, heartbroken. And it was like, how could you not fucking relate to this?
Right.
Where they think like, if you're not in a fun, vibey mood, you're like, bro, I don't want to listen to like what's popping or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas with Mac, like there's a song for whatever mood you're in. Happy, sad, over the top party, super depressed. Like there were so many levels to it. Whereas again, I don't want to put it, but as of right now, the limited content we have, he's only been out for, like you said, 4 years.
Yeah.
There just hasn't been a change. Like everything has been the same.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting you brought up the frat point, because I remember that was kind of the biggest criticisms of Mac. One of the biggest criticisms of his music was that a lot of people were pigeonholing it into being frat music. I do think the introduction was different, to your point, because like I remember Nike's on My Feet, and I forget the other song. Is it Kool-Aid, Pizza and Kool-Aid, or Kool-Aid and Pizza?
I can't remember, but yeah, something like that. Yeah,
those were definitely like gritty, like more old school hip hop beats. So I think that intrigued people much more. They're like, oh, who's this white kid who's like,
right, who's trying to like
for the culture?
Exactly. Yeah. Like not trying to take from it, or like it felt like, this kid gets it, and like he's gonna make it his own. But like this is some like if you removed his voice and put like a fucking Talib Kweli on that, it would make sense, because it kind of feels like that like hip hop from the core, as opposed to like a new age poppy version of hip hop. So I think that's what people really appreciate a lot about Mac.
For sure.
One of the things.
And of course that does influence the makeup, the demographics of the audience, that the fan base. And I think even like, for instance, Justin Bieber in the beginning, every fucking man or boy hated Justin Bieber.
Hated that name.
Because anyone in his fan base was basically a 12-year-old girl. And if you liked any of his shit, you better listen to that shit in the closet and let nobody know.
No one know.
Whereas now everybody's listening to Justin Bieber with no shame. Like I've always personally liked his music, but now I don't feel weird about saying it. I feel mature. Whereas now I don't know if I could walk into a room and say I'm a Jack Harlow fan without people kind of looking at me sideways, like, oh, you kind of like that cookie cutter shit that's for the girls or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll evolve, bro. Like I think again, if he gives us content that evolves, like I think it's gonna be hard for anyone not to be a Jack Harlow fan, right? Because say what you want about the content, dude, the quality level of Jack Harlow is extremely high. Oh, like, this guy is a very good like songwriter. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna get the respect regardless. It's just, is he gonna have the ability to like move away from the great captions and one-liners and actually give us a story that we should care about, as opposed to, hey, let me tell you about this really great time I had in Turks and Caicos with Drake and we fucked mad bitches. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's phenomenal, bro. But what else are you going to do to engage me for the other 45 minutes of this album?
For sure. And I guess in a nutshell, we just want to see him be even more vulnerable than he is at this point. Because as of now, the story is this man gets every bitch on the planet, has all the money in the world, has 80 years left of life. Yeah. But I guess people want to hear the deep and dark tales that we may not already hear about, just so we can humanize him a bit. Yeah, he's taking W after W.
Yeah, and good for him, bro. I think it's deserved. He hasn't done anything to prove us wrong about that, but yeah, I'm excited for it, bro. But number-wise, it's gonna do crazy numbers. Like
For sure.
It's going to go number one. Like, it's not going to be whatever that girl's name was, like Holly Ray or 504 and like 20K and be a flop.
Nah,
like,
never.
Bro,
I mean, if that were to happen, they'd be turn on
YouTube
it's
done.
Or some
but
shit.
Like, but even think about it, like, even like, dude, there was a lot of money behind Corday and like he flopped, you know, like from a number standpoint, that first week release was atrocious, right? Like I'll put a lot of money on that. That does not happen to Jack. Like it's just not gonna
Harlow's
happen.
fan base is way too strong for that to ever
strong.
happen.
Yeah. So again, it's gonna do numbers. It's just really, I think what Blair and I are saying, we're intrigued about the content. But put in the comments. Obviously, we'll do a reaction as well when the album drops. Before we get out of here, bro, there's still more music on the way. So it was just released today. I don't know if you saw that. I think on June 6th or June 3rd, we're going to get a Post Malone follow-up album.
Oh, like, shit, like a full-on brand new album?
Full-on album, bro.
Wow.
It's our first album in, what is it, 4 years? 2018, he dropped Beer Bongs and Bentley?
No, it was it Hollywood?
Oh, Hollywood is...
Bleeding in Hollywood
bleeding.
is Bleeding.
Yeah, Hollywood Bleeding. Yeah. But that was 2018, though. So, was 2018, 2019? Whatever. It's been like 3 years.
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's been like 3 years. So we're getting that. But obviously, most importantly, after this week, we're going to get the Kendrick Lamar album. I think he's teasing with a post that it's going to be a 2-side album, like double CD. I mean, it's not going to be CD, but you know what I mean? Like 24 tracks, you know, side 1, side 2. So your thoughts on if that happened, just getting that much content in one body of work.
From Kendrick?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this motherfucker's been gone forever. I'm sure he has a lot to say. I'm sure there's a ton of songs he recorded that he just never had the mood. He was never in the mood to release, maybe. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a lot of music from him, especially because I don't see him wanting to do a whole lot after this release. I could see him just disappearing again into some tunnel with Schoolboy Q or some shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get that much content. But I hope it's quality. I don't want a bunch of like throwaways either.
That's what I'm saying. Again, I just can't imagine him giving us throwaways, bro, because he's clearly a perfectionist. Mm-hmm. So like, but I just don't want it to feel like overkill. Like you're, you know what I mean? Like you're like kind of how we both agreed that like we enjoyed parts of Dreamville's D-Day, but like you're 50 minutes in, you're like, yo, this shit's still going. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so like I don't want to be like an hour in. I'm like, yo, there's 5 songs left. Like, how long is this fucking? So that's right. I hope that's not like it could be 2 sides, but still only be 18 songs. You know, like it can, you know, 9 song this message, and then like there's a transition to like, all right, let's get like Gully on these other 9 tracks.
Yeah. But I'm super excited for it. I kind of hope it's not just like a carbon copy of, you know, the couple tracks he did with Baby Keem recently. As much as like I like those collaborations, I hope it's not just like 40 songs of the same sounding type thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's gonna experiment in all kinds of ways that he normally does.
Because I feel like all his albums all sound so different.
Yeah, completely different and like different content. He just knows how to tell a different story in damn near every single song. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I'm excited about the Post Malone as well. So I think it's gonna be a great summer. Dude, if we get like a summer heat of the week playlist going just for like this summer, like bro, because there's a lot of good content we've gotten this year, bro. Like whereas if you go back to 2021, we were like starving for shit because we were like, yo, we're sort of this year has been very, very good to us thus far. Knock on wood. So shout out to the music gods blessing us. All right, bro. So before we get out of here, heat of the week, episode 107. What's that one song that really, really blew you away?
Honestly, I've been listening to a lot, as I told you, a lot of Wiz's older music. Yeah. I don't really know how this happened, but I think, I got a notification that he put the Alder Dice.
Dude. I was actually listening to that on 420. I was smoking with Gina outside, and I was listening to that. That shit is, bro, so well done. Yo, you know what's a side note? I don't mean to cut you off. Yep. Yo, am I crazy, or the version of phone numbers that they have on streaming platforms is different from the original phone numbers?
So I'm glad you brought that up because I heard the remix, and I don't even remember if I even heard the original phone numbers, but I noticed it said remix, and I was curious what if the original Like what the
But
original
I don't think
is.
the original beat isn't that like sped up. Like whatever versions on Apple Music and Spotify, like it's just like sped up. I'm like, bro, like this isn't it, bro. I remember when this song dropped and I was like, bro, this is the greatest song I've heard in years. You know what I mean? Like Phone Numbers was a moment in time, bro. Like everyone on their MySpace page or Facebook had like
the original.
Whatever. Yeah, the original. Like whatever, but like the lyrics are the same. It's just the beats different on the one. Okay. Because the remix just still is Big Sean and Trey the Truth, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so that's the same version.
Big Sean, Trey.
That's the original version. So it's just they changed the beat for whatever reason. So I was like, bro, I know I'm not going crazy, dogs. I gotta find the original version, bro, because that remix isn't it at all. But go ahead, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no worries. I went through Cabin Fever and just all his other shit because I was, as you know, I was a big fan of him in college, as a lot of us our age were. And I was kind of going through a nostalgic period, just wishing a lot of the stuff he released was kind of like this nowadays. And also he doesn't release a whole lot of music in general. He's busy fucking kicking people in the face and shit at the gym. But my pick that really blew me away, and I was listening to this when I was in Cancun, was my favorite song, which just so happens to probably be my favorite song on Alder Dice. I love the Oh Yeah sample, the beat. Juicy J is for some reason like the perfect combination to Wiz songs. Shout out to Wiz. He's always put out quality music, especially for someone whose content doesn't really change that much. Like every song's about him stealing someone's bitch, smoking a blunt with them or joint, making money, but he somehow figures out a way to do it in a innovative way and different way every song and album. So shout out to that.
Dude, I was listening. I was feeling nostalgic as fuck as well of 420, and I listened to this album fully, and then I threw on Cushion OJ. That was a great one. I feel like for me, my favorite song on this album was Guilty Conscience.
Oh, that song's fire too.
Yeah, and Never Been.
Oh, Never Been's fire.
Never Been is just, dude, like, bro, banger.
With
bro.
Rick Ross?
Yeah, like banger. So shout out to Wiz, bro. It's weird though, man, because like you have to really be in a mood to appreciate his music. Because like you said, like it's nostalgic to us. Like I actually saw him live for the first time with your wife. He was on campus. I think I told you that before. Yeah. Dude, yeah, like those original like 4 or 5 projects were like, dude, great bodies of work. But like fast forward, like, bro, we saw him at Coachella and we didn't care. Like we can lie to ourselves and like we didn't care, bro. We were just in that area drinking lemonade, sitting down, and like, all right, he happens to be on, so let's just sit down. But like, we didn't give a fuck. And then I went to see him in West Palm Beach like 4 years ago, and I really went to see Little Skies, but it was like the Rolling Papers tour. But I'm like, bro, we can leave early if you want, because I don't give a fuck. Like, it's so weird how like he's still putting shit out, but like, but if it's the old shit, we're like, bro, let's go see that. Like,
right.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it is weird how that works. I mean, even when I saw Lil Wayne at Coachella, I forget which one it was, but I didn't feel that.
Rolling Loud.
Rolling Loud. Sorry. I didn't feel that same energy that I felt in college, where I was like, damn, he's the GOAT and all this, and like top 5 of all time and shit. But I'm like standing right in front of you, and I feel like I could be at some fucking, I don't know, like backyard party or some shit.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel that like majestic presence and urge to watch the full performance that I feel like I should.
Yeah.
And not to his fault. I'm just like,
no, dude, like fuck it.
Time passes, like
100%. But I think what got me back in the mood is when I sent you the doc, like the 45-minute doc on YouTube. Like that made me like, it took me back to that kid in college. I was like, yo, fuck, bro. Like I remember after seeing him, like I went home and like downloaded all the mixtapes. I was trying to put Billy on. I'm like, bro, this is it, bro. We gotta fucking listen to him. Only him. So it's funny that, but I feel like mind's like set matters, bro. Like you really have to be in a certain mindset to go see someone, right? It's one thing to chill at home and listen to it, but like to go see someone, to like change your plans that evening. Like if I know Schultz says all the time, like if you have kids, to get a babysitter to watch your fucking kids and like go like, yo, there's like a lot of things in life to make someone leave their house. So like you were just saying, like, bro, to go to your office, right? Like you have to be in the right mindset. Like, bro, like luckily you're like close, but like say for Billy, like he's an hour away from work. Like, bro, he has to be in the right mindset to show up to that office in a good mood. Because everything about it is like, yo, fuck this. Yeah. Whereas, like, I think if you're not really like in the right mood to see certain artists, you're like, bro, like we can leave, bro. Like, what the fuck what are we doing here? So yeah, exactly. But I definitely feel the nostalgia about him right now because there's been a lot of content like reminiscing about the past with him, and then people forget just like what a massive impact he had on hip hop for like those 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 100%. He's definitely up there. Has he done anything with Drake?
Really? If he did, bro, nothing that went viral. I know he has at least three songs with Big Sean. Phone Numbers being one of them.
Yeah, he's a bunch with Big Sean, like Gang Bang and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Gang Bang was so I think I told you like when I went to see him for the Rolling Papers tour, Big Sean opened for him, and Big Sean just dropped his album Finally Famous, like the actual album, not the mixtape. So yeah, they had like that was a great time as well. But yeah, I don't think he has any Drake features.
Yeah. There's a bunch of people that I just randomly think about. I'm like, I don't know why Drake is like the barometer of, you know, whether or not you've transcended to like a different level. But Wiz Khalifa and Post Malone, huge artists, and neither of them have really done shit with Drake at all, I don't think.
Yeah, but I think with Post is a little bit different than Wiz, bro, because Wiz was huge. Like, I'm not gonna poo-poo it, but I don't think he was Post huge, bro.
But like, I feel like Wiz is like Snoop. I think a little bit crazy because I feel like Wiz is now that like Snoop brand that everyone knows, everyone loves. Like there's no reason. And then the fucking "See You Again" song, that shit everybody.
Yeah, you're right.
That's more than any other Drake song I can think of. That's the song every fucking even white person knows.
Yeah, you're right, bro. But yeah, maybe I am crazy for that comment. But I don't know. Sometimes maybe I'm too like recency biased. Because like that's when Post was at his biggest, like Wiz was like irrelevant when it came to music. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. I'll take it back then. Yeah, because Wiz was, and you're right. That Fast and Furious track was, bro, crazy. Yeah, and then he came out with another banger for like the Cowboys, like them boys. And then dude, he had a fucking Oreo commercial. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Wiz was fucking massive.
Right. Bro. And not to place too much emphasis on the numbers because I hate doing that, but I went to his Instagram just out of curiosity, and because he posts every fucking 10 minutes of the day, and he has like 50-60 million followers. And I know that number is pretty insane. Like most of these guys have like 5, maybe 10, but once you hit like 50 million followers, like you're
a different stratosphere.
Yeah, you're like an icon.
Yeah. I agree, dude. And the fact that he's so young, right? I think he's like 35, 30. Like, I don't think he's more than 35.
No, he's like around our age.
Yeah, so that's wild, bro. Wild. And it's when you think about how big these guys were so young. Like I like looking at the Kid Cudi documentary, I get why this nigga like almost lost his mind. Cause like, bro, like I went from being literally broke to the #1 artist in the world, and I'm 25 years old. Like, yo, I would lose my mind.
Right.
Bro. Like,
you're like, yo, what do I do now? Like, how
do I follow this up? Do I just stop living? Like, again, I don't want to sound morbid, but these have to be like actual thoughts going. Like, it's like,
oh, for sure.
What is there to look forward to? Like, nothing's going to be better than right now. So
exactly. That's when they fucking move to like Africa and
and they just they think about like some enemy that doesn't exist just to like, you know, get them to keep going. But dude, shout out to Wiz. Great choice, already added to the playlist. Dude, for me, I think you heard it earlier. It's going to be Wait For You, Future, Drake, and Thames. Bro, that song is phenomenal. Dude, just phenomenal, bro. Like, dude, it's just so good. And like, dude, the lyrics, bro, the lyrics that Drake spits on this song. Like, if you have never been in a relationship, like, you don't get it there. Like, you don't get it. Because, like, yo, I'm not even going to butcher this shit, bro. I'm going to fucking pull this shit up because it deserves to be read correctly. But, fam, he has a fucking line that says, hold on. Damn, did I fucking lose it? Damn, I lost it. But this shit, I think you know what I'm talking about. Right before it gets into the second verse or the second hook, when he's like, damn, Where is it, bro? Oh, damn. I lost it, bro. I lost it. That's fucking... All right, here. I found it. All right, cool. Nice. So this is why this lyric hit, like, this verse hit hard for me, dog. I think it hit hard for mostly anyone, dude. So you got better when you met me, and that ain't coincidental. Tried to bring the best out of you. Guess I'm not that influential. Guess I'm not the one that's meant for you. Fair. Like, everyone was like, wow.
That's someone's caption right now, for sure.
100%, dude. And, like, it's someone's caption because they want someone else to see it.
Right.
To feel a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like, that verse is just, like, dude, I feel like, because, like, I think the gift that he has more than others, and I think that what I respect, because I think he tried to achieve this early on, or at least convey he wanted to achieve this early on, is that he's able to give people like a soundtrack to day-to-day life better than most artists, right? Because I feel like people give him shit like, oh, you're just talking about like fucking girls. I'm like, yeah, but the way he talks about it is very like day-to-day, like you just watch a movie and you just see like the scene happening in front of your eyes. Like, that's very different than just like, oh, I fucked, 15 bitches last night, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like, I think he gets plenty of credits. I'm not gonna say like he's not getting credit, but I feel like sometimes people are dismissive of like the way he conveys human emotions. Because like that part, when it's on, bro, it's far above a way better than most people when it comes to conveying those emotions.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And I actually saw several people online say that Wait For You was their favorite track off of the album. Granted, I don't know if they necessarily specified why or who. Maybe it could have been Thames or whatever the case is. But I do think Drake is really good at it right now. Oh, for sure. After this and Drake, like her price is probably astronomical.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I know you love the Drake Thames song on his album too, right?
That was the first time I had heard of her, and that was one of my favorite songs, and still is off of CLP.
Yeah. So shout out to both of them. Shout out to Future. Yeah, dude. That's pretty much all I got. Great episode again, as always, my G. Let the people know where to find us.
Yes, sir. Catch us at audio-theory.com. We have the Spotify and Apple Music playlists on there. New episode every week. You can find us on all platforms. We have a interview in the works, a big one, coming up, I want to say in 2 weeks. That's with Johan.
Damn, it is 2 weeks. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Nice.
His album's out May 13th, I want to say.
Coming out the same day as Kendrick. You don't go far.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll obviously listen to both. But both great artists. I'm sure Johan's probably going to text Kendrick directly.
I should have texted you about that offline. I forgot to. I think I was just so focused on your song. But that new single, Fuck This Town.
Yeah,
that's a banger. So everyone go check that out. That is a banger.
It is a banger. But really excited for that conversation. I feel like he's grown a lot and somehow made more connections than he already had when we first talked to him. So just really curious to see what he's up to nowadays. But
yeah, dude, I'm curious to talk about like, and again, I don't want to become like to assume he's changed.
Right.
But there's no way that like, bro, from where he was from notoriety in December to where he is now in May, like that shit has to just feel different.
Right.
You have to start moving mentally different when you're like, oh wow, like I'm just on the fucking late show with Colbert tonight. Like that's wild, bro.
Right. And I even saw, and we'll get into this when we speak to him, but I even saw like some hater comments where he like literally pinned it. Someone, like he said, oh, I'm on the radio. And someone literally put a comment with a bunch of trash cans and shit emojis. And he pinned it. And then people under it wrote like, oh, the jealousy for Johan starting and stuff. So yeah, I mean, they always say when people start talking shit about you, you've made it. So
you made it. Yep.
I'm really curious too to hear how that aspect of it is, because as we know, it's not all fucking, sweet once you get up to the top. Like it's gonna come with hate and jealousy and all kinds of negative shit. It's just something you have to balance, and it comes with the territory. But it'll be a fun conversation for sure.
100%, bro. We'll do a deep dive into the entire album as well. So yeah, I'm excited, bro.
For sure. But yeah, like, comment, share, donate, do whatever you can to help the podcast. Buy the merch, super comfortable. I know, winter's basically over, but It's cold somewhere, so
it's cold. It's cold inside your house, bro. So get the fucking hoodies. We'll figure out. We'll change up the product line soon. But yeah, support the cause.
Sounds good, man.
All right, Rockie. Love you, man. Peace.
Love you too.